So as many of you guys know, I'm a second generation insurance professional, and throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to serve on the agency side and the carrier side. But you know, the conversation's always been the same. It's been about the customer life cycle. It's been about the hard market, the soft market. It's been about what's next in the industry. And we're gonna tackle all of those subjects as we get into season 3 of the podcast. We're taking the podcast to a whole new level here. Welcome to the VIP Podcast, season 3. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VIP Podcast, and I'm excited.
Did you just sing the intro?
I did. Did
Wow.
I do it on purpose? I don't think I did. It was just gonna happen.
Gosh.
I got
Ladies
so
and
excited.
Gentlemen,
Like a
we-
musical came out of
Woo!
me there.
Buckle up. This is going to be an episode.
It's going to be a good one.
This is the last episode of the day.
Yes.
We're closing out with a phenomenal guest.
Yes, a phenomenal named
Yes.
Jack. Okay, just kidding. No, but I am excited that we have Jack Gibson. And Jack Gibson, that's just a cool name. Like,
It is a cool name.
Like Jack Gibson. He sounds like
Yeah.
he'd be, you know,
A movie star.
A movie
Rock
star.
star.
Professional
thinking-
baseball
rock
player.
star.
I was thinking
rock
rock star.
Yeah, I could
He's
see
got
it.
a great name.
He doesn't have leather on for people who are not listening on YouTube. Maybe one day we'll get a leather jacket on him. But also, those who aren't watching on YouTube, they should be listening. They should be watching on
They
Absolutely.
should
YouTube. shouldn't they?
definitely be doing
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
dude. I'm so excited we're ending our day with Jack Gibson. Some of you may know who he is because once you hear where he's from, you're like, oh my gosh, I know what that is. So that's what I did. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Gibson is someone that I think you will definitely be happy to know. He's the president and CEO of IRMI.
Yep.
And CEO of WebCE. And so some of you guys have gotten your CE through WebCE.
Probably a lot of you.
Probably a lot of you.
Probably a lot.
And one of the things I liked, and I'm going to read this straight from his LinkedIn, so forgive me if I'm a bad reader. I'm from Arkansas. But it does say he's helping to save lives and livelihood. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
By empowering customers with risk management and insurance knowledge. That's his passion. That's a hell of a passion. My man, Jack Gibson, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Been looking forward to this all day.
Oh,
We have
us
been
too.
Yeah.
That's why we saved the best for last.
Yeah, what a way to close the day, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I would love for you to walk us through a little bit of what led you to where you are now as CEO of 2 great companies in their industry. And while you're there, I'm interested, you got like 7,000 plaques on your walls of, you know, degrees or certifications or something. I'd love to hear some of that because it sounds like education's a big deal to you.
Yeah. Who is the real Jack Gibson?
Yes.
Let us in.
Well, let's see here. Tying into the diplomas and starting there and how I got to IRMI. So I'm actually one of the few people you'll meet that decided when he was 19 years old that he would go into the insurance industry. And I grew up in Georgia.
Okay.
I went to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs, by the way.
All right.
National champions 2 years in a row.
There you go.
And at Georgia has one of the leading insurance and risk management schools in the country. Graduate a couple of hundred risk management majors a year, I believe, at this point in time. So I went there and I was general business major. And long story short, a brother talked me into checking out the insurance major, and I did. And I stayed at Georgia. I majored in risk and insurance, got a BBA, and decided I liked being in college, so I wanted to stay a little longer. So I stayed and went to graduate school and got an MBA. And along the way, I took CPCU and finished all the CPCU courses and exams by the time I got my MBA. So when I came out of Georgia, I had an MBA and the CPCU, except I couldn't actually use a CPCU because I didn't meet the experience requirements. So I had to, even though I'd passed all the tests, I had to wait a couple of years. So I went to work with a risk management consulting firm doing risk management consulting for large middle market and Fortune 1000 types of companies.
Wow.
And I did that for a number of years. And coincidentally, the consulting firm, which was called RIMCO, had a sister company called IRMI, International Risk Management Institute. And I did some writing for IRMI's publications. And the owner of both RIMCO and IRMI sold RIMCO to Tillinghast, which was an actuarial firm at the time, which it later on became merged with Towers Perrin, and today is part of Willis Towers Watson.
Oh my god!
After they merged with
Interesting.
Watson Wyatt consulting firm. So anyway, the broker and those consultants kind of went that way. But the owner of IRMI, whose name is Bill McIntyre, hired me away from Remco a couple of years after he sold Remco to come over to IRMI. That was 1982. It was a long time ago. And anyway, I came to IRMI, put together a strategic plan to grow IRMI. IRMI at that time was a seminar company primarily. We were doing seminars on specific industries like the construction industry and trucking and what have you. And so my strategic plan had us moving more into publications, and we became a major publisher of reference content for insurance agents, brokers, and underwriters. And back then, everything went in a 3-ring binder, right?
Oh,
with 3-hole punch pages, and
Nice. Yeah.
you'd buy the binders, and then every 3 months we'd send you a shrink wrap package of pages with 3-hole punched, and somebody in the office would have to pull out the old pages and stick in the updated pages. Then one day along came some guys that had started a company called Silver Plume.
Yeah.
And they said, we want to put your stuff on CD-ROM. And we were the first publisher, I believe, to go on to Silver Plume. And I was trying to think through when that happened. I think it was in the late, 1998, something like that.
Sounds about right.
So we went on to Silver Plume, and we're on CD-ROM there in a partnership with Silver Plume, which was later acquired by Vertafore, and Silver Plume became Reference Connect. So that's that whole story.
This is a history lesson.
Wow.
Kind of an interesting story.
Know. Yeah, it's
Wait,
awesome.
so Silver Plume was Reference Connect?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reference Connect was Silver Plume. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reference Connect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Silver
sorry,
Plume,
Reference Connect was Silver Plume.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
It started out as
So
Silver Plume, then
yeah.
for a while they renamed it to Sage.
I do remember
Silver
that too.
Plume Sage, and then they renamed it again to Reference Connect.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
So did
and
you-
a lot of people in the industry still, the old timers still call it Silver Plume.
I still
Oh
called
my
it that whenever, I was talking to
Say
Hayden
it.
when we first started. Anyway.
I feel like I
But-
heard Silver Plume too. So
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. But you're saying Reference Connect started as like a CD-ROM distribution play? It wasn't.
it was-
wasn't an intra. It's kind of an intranet, sort of, right? Where
Well, there was no such thing as an intranet.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. The,
That's that. Yeah.
That was in the days of LANs and networks were new, and it was CD-ROM, and so every month they would mail a new CD out to all the subscribers.
oh my
They'd
gosh.
replace their old CD with a new one. Now, for insurance companies, they did it on the big tape drives,
Yeah.
and they would actually, because they ran it on the legacy hardware, big computer mainframes.
Yeah.
But that's how the updates were done on CD-ROM, and then the internet came along, and it sometime around 2001 or 2 or something like that, it went onto the internet.
I love that Jack is schooling us on Vertafore history
Right.
now.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I want to know,
Awesome.
forget that you're on the VIP the Vertafore Insurance podcast for a second, but like what does that mean to IRMI being a part of Reference Connect? I mean, is that a huge part of it or just a small part, or what does that mean to you, Jack, as part of your journey here?
Sure. Well, during that same time, IRMI also had a CD-ROM, which we called IRMI CD, and we had subscribers there. So we were on both of the platforms. And for a period of time, actually, ISO had a CD-ROM too, and we were on that one as well. And they were all done with the same model where they were mailed out to people. We moved our CD-ROM onto the internet as well, and that's called IRMI Online. So our content is on both Reference Connect and IRMI Online. It's available either place. It's the same content in either place, and really even the same pricing model. we're agnostic about where a customer subscribes, but a lot of our largest customers subscribe on Reference Connect. So Reference Connect's a very important, and Vertafore, our relationship with Vertafore is very important to us. And we've been partners, obviously, for decades, and it's been a terrific partnership. We, love working with Vertafore, and it's been a really good thing being part of the Reference Connect platform. So some of our content's a part of the basic Reference Connect, such as our classification cross-reference and our insurance glossary, and I think some cancellation material. And then other content's more premium that you pay an additional fee to subscribe to.
So I want to get into that. Do you have
I bet you just read my mind. I bet. Go ahead.
I was going to give a quick 101 on Reference Connect for those who was that what you were thinking?
100%.
Jack, we've been on the same brainwave all day. It's very weird.
It is.
That's dangerous.
It is dangerous, especially for her. My goodness.
So for those who need a 101 on Reference Connect, it's essentially an intranet or a private internet, right, for a hosting service for insurance specific content, and it's primarily used as a sales tool, or it could be a service tool in the remarketing process to help sales and or service team members find information related to specific risks, like what questions is underwriting expecting me to answer, what do I need to know about this particular type of risk, classification code, fire class code, and then even like markets that write those types of risks. So it's a really well-rounded tool. But IRMI is a huge part of Reference Connect. So if you have, to those who have Reference Connect and need the 201, if you have Reference Connect and don't have IRMI enabled, you are missing out on a huge part of the value of RefCon. So with that, Jack, could you maybe give us like a 30,000 foot on what's available to subscribers?
Sure. So we have a lot of products in our product line that are available, and you can buy them a la carte. So, but at a high level, we've got our core products that basically interpret insurance policies. So we have a product on commercial liability, one on property, commercial auto, et cetera. And we do a line by line analysis and interpretation of the coverage provided by these policies. And we also, for every endorsement to the policies, ISO endorsements, AAIS endorsements, et cetera, we interpret those. So we tell people, how these policy provisions apply. They help if you're an agent and you're trying to make sure you're arranging the best coverage for your clients. There's all kinds of guidance on how to tailor coverage for different types of clients. If you've got a claim that's kind of gray in terms of whether it's covered or not, you can go into these products and do an interpretation using IRMI content to try to wind through and decipher whether or not it might be covered. So we've got that core library, but we also have other content on things like emerging risks, workers' comp, state laws, indemnity, all kinds of state analysis of laws that affect insurance and risk management, like anti-indemnity statutes that apply to construction contracts and other kinds of contracts. Very specific, detailed content. So it's designed so if a risk professional, insurance professional has a question, they can go in and get an answer to almost any kind of detailed, technical, geeky kind of question that you might want to find an answer to about insurance coverage and risk finance and captive insurance and risk management, all kinds of topics like that.
Almost like a Google for insurance, it sounds like.
That's exactly. In fact, I've had customers tell me that we were their search engine.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, we're,
Yeah, I could
You're our
imagine.
insurance search engine.
There you go.
awesome.
Well, I could imagine that being used for, onboarding of new employees, onboarding of new
Exactly.
green producers, onboarding at a carrier level for new underwriters, for new whatever, to understand the industry as a whole.
Yeah, and not just onboarding, but even experienced people.
Sure.
They get detailed information. So, one of the things that I think about with Reference Connect and IRMI, Reference Connect in general and IRMI content in particular, is we've got baby boomers leaving the industry in droves, right? People my age that have been around a long time. They a lot of them really studied insurance and had great training on insurance, and they're leaving. And we've got young people coming in, and the industry doesn't train as well as it used to. We have a lot of young people that really don't understand the nitty-gritty aspects of insurance. And it used to be they would go to the Jack Gibsons, the boomers that have now retired, and they're not around anymore. And Reference Connect can fill that void for agents and brokers and underwriters for the young people. So if I owned an agency or if I ran an underwriting operation, I would subscribe to Reference Connect, and I'd make sure my young people knew that they had a subscription and were using it. And instead of doing their natural tendency, which is to go Google it. And the problem with Google is a lot of the information's out of date. It's biased because it's written by an attorney that focuses either on the policyholder or the insurance company perspective, or it was just flat wrong by whoever did it. Whereas with IRMI and Reference Connect in general, we've got a whole team of 20 research analysts who are insurance professionals with CPCUs and all kinds of designations and industry experience that spend their days keeping this content up to date and accurate. So I really see us as helping to fill that void from the retiring baby boomers, us being Reference Connect and IRMI together.
So I'm going to do Sid a favor for a second, and I'll bring it up before she does. But with the emergence of AI and ChatGPT and some of that thing, is that something that is a threat to you, or are you guys embracing that at IRMI, or both?
Both, actually. So let's, back to my comments about Google. So ChatGPT, what was it trained on? The internet, right? And everybody's heard of garbage in, garbage out. So ChatGPT on the, just the standard ChatGPT is trained on all that content out on the internet. Some of it's biased, some of it's wrong, some of it's out of date, and some of it's good, okay? But you don't know what you're getting. So if you're not a knowledgeable insurance professional, what you could run into is what they call hallucinations. So if ChatGPT doesn't know the answer, it's going to hallucinate an answer and give you one very authoritatively that could be seem to be right. It could be wrong. And that can lead to an E&O claim for an agent or broker, or a bad faith claim for an insurance company when a claims adjuster makes the wrong call. So ChatGPT is dangerous in that respect. On the other hand, ChatGPT or generative AI in general, to use general twice there,
You're good.
could be a very useful tool. So we have initiatives here where we're doing a lot of testing and work with generative AI, but we're training it on our own content. So it's good stuff in and good stuff out,
That's
right? So
because you've already curated the content, you've already went through your content, you already know it, you've already been so it's good content. So that the AI would be able to filter good content out. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and
Love that.
and the other piece of it is with search. So AI can be a good search tool as well, just to find good answers out there. So there's a lot of I think generative AI has a lot of uses in our industry. I think we're just beginning to crawl with it. There's a lot of risk to it, and we have to be cognizant of the risk. But if I were, again, running an agency or an underwriting operation, I would be worried about my particularly young people who won't necessarily know the difference between a good answer and a hallucination, I'd be worried about them using ChatGPT, and I would have them signing into Reference Connect and doing a search there for answers to their insurance questions.
Yeah, and just to hammer home how real what Jack is bringing up is, I read a news article, this was at the end of last year, about a lawyer who was taken to court, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he had actually prosecuted a case a few months before being brought to court, and had leveraged ChatGPT in his, I don't know if his opening statements, closing statements, or during the case itself, but had asked ChatGPT for cases that he could use in his prosecution. And it was an airline case about somebody who had a ticket that they had to cancel and the airline wouldn't reimburse them. So ChatGPT couldn't find anything. It just made up a case, just made up case law. Said, here you go. Here's a case that happened here. It supports your arguments, and here's the case. I mean, case number and everything. It looked completely legitimate.
No way. Hallucinated it.
Yeah, he never.
Yeah.
So LexisNexis is like the legal. It's like the IRMI of law, right? And so he never fact checked it with LexisNexis.
Wow.
Took it in, and then the defense is now bringing a case against him for using a fake case in their case. I mean, it is just wild.
That is wild.
It's
but
wild.
You brought up another good use case for this. You could use to fact check some of your ChatGPT searches if you use IRMI or Reference Connect.
Yeah, you could, but why not? I think the point.
Why not go
Jack
straight
is,
to?
And if IRMI is investing in generative AI, how cool is that?
That is really cool.
That's cool, man.
That's really cool.
Jack, you're ahead of your time, sir.
Yeah, that being.
Well, I don't know about that, but
No, I think you are. Could you transition into maybe what's coming up? What's next for you guys?
The new content. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so we just rolled out a new product. IRMI is thought of, I think, by a lot of agents and brokers and underwriters. Is our content is like I said earlier, very detailed, very wide ranging, and it's a lot of topics, and a lot of agents, brokers, and underwriters feel or think of it as being for larger accounts, right? So we just introduced a new product that covers business owners' policy and endorsements. It's available now on Reference Connect. We have some people subscribing to it there. So, for an agency that's writing, the smaller size accounts, Main Street type accounts and whatnot, there's now an IRMI product that could be very beneficial to you called Business Owners Policy and Endorsement Analysis. And in it, we do very authoritative coverage analysis of the business owner's policy, both the AIS as well as the ISO BOP policies. And we also go into discuss the ISO micro BOP, which is for more like home-based business types of things and real small businesses. We go into describing how the various countrywide, I think 300 or so countrywide endorsements, how they work. We've got there's sample forms in there, and go into, the eligibility requirements and all that type of thing. So it could be a great tool for agents that are, like I say, writing more mainstream accounts rather than middle market and upsize accounts.
So if I'm an agency listening, and this is intriguing because I write a lot of small BOPs, am I in subscribing, am I having to read all of this content at once, right, and kind of take it as a course? Or is there, you mentioned search, like can I search for, okay,
Sure.
I know that I want to write this BOP with this carrier. Okay, let me go to IRMI and just, can I search for that one? And,
Right, yeah.
how
So
does that work?
the way Reference Connect works in general with IRMI, as with other publishers and other content, is you do a subscription. So it's always there available to you. So you just simply would go into Reference Connect, and if it's a BOP question, you could do a general search of all of Reference Connect, or you can actually drill in, say, I want to search the IRMI BOP product, and just search that one product if you want. So there's various ways you can search it, but it's not a one-time buy it and have to read the whole thing like a course. It's always there. And it could be a great training tool too. So you could assign, say, a new employee, go, I want you to become an expert on the BOP policy. So in your first month, read this content, and then your second month, read this content, and then read about these endorsements. And,
That's a great idea.
And after after a few months of that, they're going to know the BOP policy forward and backward.
Yeah.
And that can be very effective and help them sell it, help them service it, et cetera, et cetera.
Or if you're that personal lines agency that doesn't sell a lot of BOPs and you have an opportunity to sell one, especially a micro BOP, as you mentioned, you're going to be able to do that by using IRMI or Reference Connect.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Is there anything, I remember we talked about this launch at the beginning of this year, and we had talked about how it was really a hot new commodity at IRMI. Is there something about the BOP policy that just makes it kind of a amoeba that people don't really understand? Like, why did you choose? You could have launched new content across, I'm sure, a variety of different lines of business. Why this one?
Well said. I mean, I think we've already covered most of the lines of business. So
That's fair.
That is fair.
That's fair.
we have 60 products out there,
That was a
60
very nice way of saying
publications.
it.
So
That's fair.
We already have a very good personal lines reference service, which could also be super useful. It covers homeowners, personal auto, personal inland marine, personal umbrellas, all of that stuff, which would be very useful to any agency. We also have a farm and agribusiness product called Agribusiness Risk and Insurance, which would be the same kind of thing for farms and ranches and what have you. And that was our latest product that we introduced a couple of years ago, the Agribusiness Risk and Insurance. And then, so this kind of fills in that next step. So it's, an agency working with smaller commercial accounts and personal lines between those three products, or even just the agribusiness and BOP, or the BOP and the personal lines, will really be able to handle almost any kind of coverage or question or problem that might come along.
Is there material out there within, your platform on stuff like parametric insurance or cyber insurance or some of these coverages that are becoming a lot more prevalent?
Oh yeah, we cover both of those. So on parametric, we had one of our publications is called the Risk Report, and we use it to report on emerging risks and emerging newer kinds of insurance and what have you. And we've covered parametric in that in a number of issues of the Risk Report. Cyber we cover in several products. We have a professional liability insurance reference that covers errors and omissions, all types of E&O and professional liability, from med mal to attorneys E&O, insurance agents E&O, you name it, D&O, employment practices liability, and cyber insurance. And then we also have a product called the Betterly Report, which compares the cyber policies and underwriting practices of different insurance carriers. So if you're writing a lot of cyber insurance, the Betterly Report, cyber report would be terrific to help know how, for example, Chubb's policy compares to AIG's, to Beasley's, to whoever's. So we cover those there. You would be hard pressed to think of a line of insurance that's not covered in IRMI reference content on Reference Connect.
That sounds like a challenge.
I'm going to take another swing because at this question, because I missed the first one.
Yeah.
I'm
it was just a foul.
I'm at that again.
It was just a foul.
Keith had to cover for me there. So Jack, fact check me here. So it's so interesting. I didn't think about this, but you kind of have a lens on new products that are emerging or coming out maybe before most of the industry does, because you're constantly trying to look from a competitive standpoint at providing new analysis and content on new products. So I'm curious, have you heard anything about an AI product? I had to ask.
Oh.
I had to ask.
AI. Well,
Yeah.
the main thing I'm hearing on AI is carriers are excluding it. They're concerned about it.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
you know, on a lot of the different types of insurance, they're concerned about, you know, if you're using AI, one of the risks of AI is that it's going to make a wrong decision. Somebody's going to depend on, or a wrong statement, incorrect statement. Somebody's going to depend on it and make a mistake. So I can't tell you off the top of my head what types of what lines are being excluded in, but I think that's, you know, and it's typical of the insurance industry to have that kind of reaction.
Yeah, say, hey.
You know, it's,
Right, but
you know,
to
we're not sure, we can't put our arms around this.
Mhm.
We're worried about it. So I think we'll exclude it and then start looking at ways to maybe provide coverage.
endorse it back in.
I haven't heard of any specific policies to cover AI.
I was about to say, to that point, is there a AIENO? AIEIO, that sounds like a song. But yeah, so, yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Good
Not
deal.
yet.
I just have to say that, Sid, you gotta slow down, wait, be patient.
On the AI, I can't be patient on the
Dude,
AI
I know.
questions.
I know.
It's too
Okay, so
I mean,
too tempting.
Yeah, it is. It is for you. So I got another question, and we have to wrap up, Jack. I hate to do it, but I got one last question. Just to bring it full circle to back what you talked about with the University of Georgia. And I know in Arkansas, we have the University of Central Arkansas, which is a huge, college for insurance and risk management. Is IRMI being used in colleges to help educate in risk management and things of that nature? You guys, is that a use case you guys have?
Oh yeah, we are. We work with Gamma Iota Sigma, which is the national insurance fraternity, and we've got a number of initiatives with them on both a national level. In fact, I'm on their advisory committee. I'm very passionate about insurance education in universities and colleges, and in fact, IRMI publishes a directory of university risk management insurance programs, which is free on our website. But we're very passionate about supporting them. Locally, we have 2 universities here in Dallas that have RMI programs, and we support their Gamma Iota Sigma chapters, and we have a long history of working with them. So absolutely, we do that.
I feel like because he does work with these colleges and he is involved in those, fraternities, they're kind of a rowdy bunch, I bet.
Probably. Now, do you guys, I know you have, a lot of written content, but do you have like video content? Do you have things of that nature where people like myself who don't read well from Arkansas, can you watch some of this stuff? Do you have a TikTok channel? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Any kind of visual content?
We have a YouTube channel.
Awesome.
We found that it wasn't getting that much traffic, so we haven't done a lot there lately. The main place where we've done a lot of video work at IRMI is with captive insurance. So we have a website called captive.com, and it was actually the first portal on captive insurance ever created. It was back in 2000 or something, and we acquired it from the owners, I don't know, 6 or 8, 10 years ago. But we have a lot of videos on captive.com that talk about captive basics and what have you. And we do some other video type work. We haven't done a lot outside of that. At WebCE, we actually have a studio, and we do a lot of video down there for some of the CE courses and what have you at WebCE. And IRMI uses that studio from time to time. But video is actually an area that I'd like to do more with, and we probably will be doing a lot more in the years to come.
I think you could kill it on TikTok. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I've been working on my dance.
Just go to one of those.
I love it.
he's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I'd say just go to one of those college frat parties and it'll be on.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how do people get in touch with
the
IRMI team if they're interested in subscribing and getting their toes into the pool?
Yeah. So first off, if you're a Reference Connect customer already, you can do so by contacting Vertafore, your representative at Vertafore,
Yep.
and they can give you a quote on whatever products within the IRMI library, or on Reference Connect, as well as whatever IRMI products you'd like to add.
Yep.
If for whatever reason you're not a Reference Connect customer and you want to come direct to IRMI, and you're not going to get a better price necessarily by doing so, but we have a direct channel. You can come to us and we will happily talk to you about subscribing to our content on IRMI online. So you could take either of those two approaches to get to us.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for carving out time for us, Jack. I know that you're a really busy guy. You have a million other things that you could be doing. So we appreciate the time, the history lesson, and being schooled on Vertafore's.
Yes.
We've all been educated today.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is the perfect guy to do it.
Well,
And the hype machine on the new content.
Yeah,
We'll be sending
absolutely.
that out to everyone soon. So
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Like I said earlier, it's our partnership with Vertafore is special. It's been going on for decades, and we really appreciate it and appreciate Vertafore and all of our great customers out there on the Vertafore Reference Connect platform.
We definitely appreciate our partnership with you guys as well. So thank you so much.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I was gonna say I want to make sure I clarify. Earlier I said that, you guys are missing out on a ton of value if you're not subscribed to IRMI on RefCon, which is 100% true. But even if you're on RefCon, the partnership that we have with IRMI enables a lot of the content that's available in that tool today. So, I mean, we literally wouldn't, RefCon wouldn't be as amazing as it is without IRMI. And for those of you interested, I highly recommend getting in touch with either your Vertafore account manager or someone on the IRMI team and just do a demo. Just look at what's available when you upgrade and when you get access to the full library of IRMI content. Look out for the business owners policy content that's coming soon, and maybe some AI content in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, down the road.
All right.
We're not ready yet, but we'll be there when it's right.
I love it. All right. All right. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, I've said it a million times. I'll say it 1,000,001. Go to youtube.com/Vertafore. Hit that subscribe button. We look at the metrics, every day, every morning over
I look
coffee.
at it all the time. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, he sends me screenshots every time we have like one new subscriber. So you are important. You matter to us.
What
we
is the
love
wavelength happening? What is that?
I know. you do matter. We're going to start looking at like next, which is even scarier. You look good to beard. All right, guys, again, hit the subscribe button. We love you. We thank you so much. Jack, thank you so much. And have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.